Class 8 Science, Chapter Coal and Petroleum. So, the first topics that we are going to cover are fuels and the caloric value of fuels. Fuels, substances that produce heat and light energy on burning are called fuels. Uses of fuels: cooking, industry, automobiles, heating. Solid fuels, fuels that exist in solid state at room temperature are called solid fuels. Wood is used for cooking. Coal was used for running steam engines. Coke is used as a fuel in industry. Liquid fuels, fuels that exist in liquid state at room temperature are called liquid fuels. Kerosene is used in London. Petrol is used as fuels in automobiles. Gaseous fuels, fuels that exist in gaseous state at room temperature are called gaseous fuels. CNG is used as fuel in auto rickshaws. Caloric value of fuel. Suppose 1 kg of coal and 1 kg of cow dung are burned. Which produces more heat? Do both produce the same amount of heat? Because they are of same quantity. Definitely not. It depends on the caloric value of the fuel. Caloric value of a fuel is defined as the amount of heat produced in kilojoules when 1 gram of a fuel is completely burned. A fuel which produces more heat energy per kilogram is said to have high caloric value. Caloric value of petrol is 47 kilojoule per gram. Therefore, it produces more heat energy and act as good fuel. The more the caloric value, the better is the efficiency of a fuel. Cow dung cakes, this is one kind of fuel. And what is the caloric value? That is the kilojoule per gram. That is 7. 7 kilojoule per gram. Wood pellets. The caloric value of this is 17 kilojoule per gram. Coal. The caloric value of coal is 25 to 33 kilojoule per gram. Coke. The caloric value of this coke is 33 kilojoule per gram. Charcoal. Caloric value is 35 kilojoule per gram. Biogas. Caloric value is 35 to 40 kilojoule per gram. Petrol. The caloric value of petrol is 47 kilojoule per gram. Kerosene. The caloric value of kerosene is 48 kilojoule per gram. LPG. The caloric value is 50 kilojoule per gram. Methane. Caloric value is 55 kilojoule per gram. Hydrogen. Caloric value is 150 kilojoule per gram. Now coming to the different questions. Now you have to note the questions in your notebook. and you have to write the answers. So, question number 1, define fuel. Give two examples of liquid fuel. Question number 3, what is the unit of the caloric value of a fuel? Now, coming to the next topic, characteristics of good fuel, advantages of gaseous fuel, and fossil fuels. Characteristics of good fuel. Point number 1, it should have a high caloric value. For example, hydrogen is considered the best fuel as it has the highest caloric value. It is used as a fuel in rocket. Point number 2, its ignition temperature should be low but well above the room temperature. If the ignition temperature is too low, the fuel will catch fire very easily, which could be dangerous. If ignition temperature is very high, the fuel has to be heated for a long time before it can catch fire. For example, fuels like petrol, LPG have low ignition temperature and easily catch fire. Point number 3, it should have a moderate rate of combustion and should release heat in a controlled manner. Point number 4, it should be fairly cheap and easily available. Fairly cheap means a fuel may have a very high caloric value, but if it is expensive and not easily available, it cannot be used on a day to day basis. Point number 5, it should be safe to handle, store, and transport. Point number 6, it should not cause pollution on burning. Point number 7, it should undergo complete combustion and should be controllable. Advantages of gaseous fuel. Amongst the physical state of fuels, the fuels in gaseous state are the best because of the following reasons. Point number 1, gaseous fuels are supplied in cylinders or through pipeline, so the transportation cost is lower. Point number 2, gaseous fuels release large amount of energy and do not leave behind any ash or solid residue on combustion. Gaseous fuel, food gets cooked faster. Point number 3, gaseous fuels produce least amount of harmful gases as compared to solid and liquid fuels. Point number 4, gaseous fuels can be easily ignited with a small spark and the rate of combustion can be easily controlled with the help of a control valve. Fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are formed from the buried remains of plants and animals. Coal, petroleum, and natural gas are examples of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are obtained from nature. They are referred to as natural resources. Now, again, come back to the questions. So, you should note it down in your notebook. Question number 1, state few characteristics of a good fuel. Question number 2, state two advantages of gaseous fuels. Question number 3. Can coal, petroleum, and natural gas be prepared in the laboratory from dead organisms? Question number 4. Why fossil fuels are referred to as natural resources? Next topic. Natural resources, coal. Natural resources. These are resources, natural resources are of two types: inexhaustible and exhaustible. Inexhaustible natural resources. These are resources of which there is a limitless supply, such as sunlight, air. Exhaustible natural resources. These are resources whose supply is limited. The overuse of these resources should be avoided, such as forests, wildlife, coal. Coal is graded on the basis of heat obtained from them. Types of coal: peat, lignite, bituminous coal, anthracite, peat. It contains 11% of carbon. Lignite. Lignite contains 22% of carbon. Bituminous coal. Bituminous coal contains 60% of carbon. Anthracite. Anthracite contains 80% of carbon. Out of all these, anthracite is the best quality coal. Formation of coal. Trees and other plants, they grew in swampy areas 300 to 400 million years ago died. Their remains got buried in the swampy soil. Over time, these remains were covered with layers of sediments like mud and sand. In low oxygen conditions, the buried plant material formed a dark brown material called peat. Gradually, more and more sediments got deposited over peat. Peat was compressed between layers of sediments and formed lignite. Further compression resulted in the formation of bituminous coal. Even further compression resulted in the formation of anthracite. Now, coming to the question. Question number 1. Why? Explain why fossil fuels are exhaustible natural resources. Question number 2. Define natural resources. Question number 3. Name the best quality coal. Question number 4. Explain the formation of coal. Next topics: coke, coal gas, coal tar, and formation of petroleum. Coal. Coal is processed further to obtain useful materials like coke, coal gas, coal tar, coke. It is a tough, porous, and black substance. It is an almost pure form of carbon. Coke is used in the manufacture of steel and in the extraction of many metals. Coal gas. Coal gas was used for street lighting for the first time in London in 1810 and in New York around 1820. Coal tar. It is a black, thick liquid with an unpleasant smell. Products obtained from coal tar are used as starting materials for manufacturing various substances such as drugs, synthetic dyes, naphthalene balls, explosives, paints. Now, coming to the formation of petroleum and natural gas. Over a period of millions of years, tiny marine organisms died and settled on the ocean floor. Over time, this layer of dead organisms was covered beneath sediments. Enormous heat and pressure transformed these remains to petroleum and natural gas. Rising through porous rocks like sandstone, petroleum and natural gas reached a layer of impermeable rock and were trapped below it. Now, coming to the questions. Question number 1. Which is the purest form of carbon? Question number 2. What is coal gas? What are its uses? Question number 3. What is the difference between coke and coal? Question number 4. Explain the process of formation of petroleum. Now, coming to the next point or topic, that is refining of petroleum. Refining of petroleum. Petroleum and natural gas are extracted by drilling through the impermeable rocks. Petroleum or crude oil is a complex mixture of solid, liquid, and gaseous hydrocarbons. It is separated into useful substances through a process called refining of petroleum. The process of separating the various fractions of petroleum is known as refining. It is carried out in a petroleum refinery. In this process, petroleum is introduced in a fractionating column. It is a tall, cylindrical structure fitted with horizontal trays. Petroleum is heated to 400 degrees centigrade. As the vapors of petroleum rise inside the fractionating column, they cool and condense at different heights. Depending on their boiling points and are collected in different trays. Below 40 degrees centigrade, that is petroleum gas. Petroleum gas is used as a domestic fuel in its liquefied form, that is LPG. Now 40 to 170 degrees centigrade, that is petrol. Petrol is used as a fuel in automobiles, in dry cleaning, etc., and various chemicals. 172 to 50 degrees centigrade, we will get kerosene. Kerosene is used as a fuel in lamps and stoves. In 250 to 350 centigrade, we will get diesel. Diesel is used as a fuel in heavy motor vehicles and generators. 350 to 400 centigrade, we will get fuel oil. Fuel oil is for power stations and ships. And the leftover is the lubricating oil. Lubricating oil is used for lubrication in candles, Vaseline, ointments, making roads, etc. Now coming to the questions. Question number 1. What do you mean by refining of petroleum? Question number 2. Name various components of petroleum and 5 usage of it. Question number 3. Where is the process of refining of petroleum carried out? Now coming to the next topic, that is natural gas, limitations of fossil fuels, air pollutants, conservation of fossil fuel. Natural gas. Natural gas consists mainly of methane, that is CH4. It has the following main uses. It is used for the generation of electricity. Compressed natural gas, that is CNG, is used as a fuel in automobiles as it is more environment friendly than petrol or diesel. CNG is used as domestic fuel. It is used in the production of ammonia and hydrogen. It is used in the manufacture of steel, glass, plastics, and other products. Now, coming to the limitations of fossil fuel. Limited availability in nature. Fossil fuel take millions of years to form. If we run out of the existing stock of these fuels, we will not get fuels in the future. Air pollution is caused due to their use. Use of fossil fuels adds many undesirable substances called pollutants in the atmosphere. These pollutants adversely affect the life of organisms. Pollutants can be in the form of particles or gases. Air pollutants. The main air pollutants are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, soot particles, carbon monoxide. It is a colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas. It is produced by incomplete combustion of fossil fuels. Exposure to carbon monoxide can cause headache and dizziness and can even lead to coma and death. Carbon dioxide. CO2 levels in the atmosphere have increased due to the widespread combustion of fossil fuels. These can lead to an increase in the global average temperature. Increase in temperature causes the melting of polar ice caps and glaciers, resulting in a rise in sea level and submerging of coastal areas. Sulfur dioxide. SO2, that is sulfur dioxide, is released when coal is burned. Use of fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, and coal also releases nitrogen oxides. These gases react with oxygen and water vapor present in the air to produce dilute solutions of sulfuric acid and nitric acid. These acids fall down with rain, making it acidic, which is known as acid rain. Acid rain damages plants, aquatic life, soil and buildings. Soot particles. Soot particles are introduced in the air due to the incomplete combustion of wood and fossil fuels like coal and petroleum. These particles can enter our bodies when we breathe and trigger asthma attacks, cause wheezing, cough, and respiratory irritation. Conservation of fossil fuel. Conservation of fossil fuels can be done by walk more, catch public transportation more often, be energy conscious with your power in the home, use alternate sources of energy like tidal power, wind energy, solar energy, and nuclear energy to meet our fuel and energy needs. Now, coming to the questions. Question number 1. State the usage of natural gas. Question number 2. What are the limitations of fossil fuels? Question number 3. Name the main air pollutants. Question number 4. What are the effects of carbon monoxide on human beings? Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel to get more updated content of different topics for different class.